Now that process of warping the loom, what I just showed you, usually takes about 30 minutes from putting the plate on there, putting on all the notches, making sure you have 19, cutting, bringing the yarn to the floor. Most kids will get to this point in 30 minutes. Some kids will not. And I just tell them no problem because, you know, they see their friends progressing and they get a little panicky that they're falling behind. And weaving can be a little stressful for kids. So the whole time you're teaching it, you've got to be setting their mind at ease. It's okay. This is something new. We're all catching on. We're all going to do an excellent job with this. And once they feel confident in that, they will start to loosen up a little bit and not worry so much. So when they come back and they're ready to weave, I usually show them on the document cam or something big that this is weaving like we did in first grade with a paper weaving. So I tell them that the process, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit, is over and under. Just like when we were paper loom weaving. So under, over, under, over, which for them is no problem. Keep your plate rotated with your extra hand. This part for them, they got this. No big deal. It's when I tell them that every now and then they have to pull that string down to the middle that suddenly they have a hard time seeing what did I just do. So I'll often tell them to lift up the string, or just loosen it from the middle a little bit. Lift up the string and it'll often tug on the warp string that it just went under. And once you see that, then you know, oh, here I'm going over. Also, some kids will want to reverse the weaving process. And I tell them it doesn't matter if you go clockwise or counterclockwise, but you can't go both. So you've got to pick a direction and stick with it. Again, pull until it sinks all the way to the middle. Now it's really difficult to tell. Tug on that string. Oh, there's the warp. I know I went under it, so now I will go over it. Once they get to a point where their string, their weaving string, their weft, is about as long as their finger, they know it's time for them to add another string. And surprisingly, a lot of kids don't know how to tie knots. And this particular knot is a great one to learn because your weaving won't come undone. A lot of times if I just do a regular double knot like this, once they start to tug on the weaving, the entire knot will undo itself and come apart. So a better knot that will not come undone is this one. I show them to put both strings side by side, create a circle, take both tails, put it in the hole, if I can find that pink one, there it is, and pull very tightly. And a lot of times they'll want to immediately cut this off, which is fine. Save those little strings though. I've been coming up with all sorts of fun projects to do with spare pieces of yarn, so don't let them trash that. I usually have a little coffee can sitting on every table that they just drop their strings into. And then they're right back at it. Now the problem is that you've got this huge string. For some kids, this is a real pain in the keister because it's all over the place. Other kids, it doesn't bother them at all. Sometimes I will show them how to make a little bundle with it and to hold on to that as they weave, gently releasing it as they're weaving along. Let's see, the last thing I did was under. So I'm just going to work on this a bit and I'll come right back at you in a moment.